6:01? Not too bad. Just wanna say, I gotta, once this meeting is over, I gotta drive outside of Boston tonight, for an early morning medical appointment in Boston, and, so I'm gonna try to move this along as fast as I possibly can. So, Jeff, would you leave?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That sounds clear. Chris, you're here to talk about the, if we have any questions or whatever, mitigation. And I know why you're here to talk about the solar. And you're here to talk about 3 or 4 items. So, I understand from Irv, he has, some comments and a public comment. So, you got the floor.
Me?
Yeah,
Okay.
public comment.
In May, you guys sent me an email asking me to, gave one at planning board. And I don't know what was the thought behind that. Okay. I don't know. And I just want to just reiterate about my job, my work schedule. When I first was asked to be on the planning board many years ago, I had the same job. And they said, well, I asked to be an alternate. So they said, no, we need planning board members. And even during my first term on the planning board, I was asked sometimes to be the chair, and I became the chair. So that's the reason I remained on the planning. Wasn't an issue. Work. Okay. The complaint that you guys had about difference of opinions, was ordinances and so forth, that's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with my duties on the plan. Okay. And all these unidentified people that made all these false accusations about being aligned with business or involved with business, is totally untrue. And I want to know if you guys ever told them, we have a process. You go to the planning board, you don't like what you hear, you can take it to the Board of Appeals. Did you ever direct anyone to go to the Board of Appeals?
I've said,
No, right?
yes, the people have asked me, what's my recourse? I said, Board of Appeals.
Because I tell them in the meeting, Board of Appeals. Okay?
So, yes,
Nobody appealed nothing in the Board of Appeals, correct?
I don't.
No, we did not. That's the process. What I'm telling you. Okay, so you guys don't even follow through the process.
Yeah, we do.
No, you did. Absolutely not.
Look, it's not,
There you go.
I've heard, it's not up to us to file an appeal.
No. But if they don't appeal, then that should be the end of it. Okay, what was the reason for the cancellation of the July planning board meeting?
That's Terry.
Did not forum.
Okay, so you didn't have me. And, Gabe couldn't make it, and Richard resigned over you guys. With not nominating the planning board. You're responsible for that, and there's 3 applications for the board that month. Okay, I also received several emails from every planning board member, several residents in town, and they all said you guys made the wrong call, every single one. Okay, except I received a few phone calls as well. Okay, so the comments went from anything from this is ridiculous, doesn't make any sense, it's a slap in the face, all these kind of comments that I received by email. They gave me praise for always being prepared for meetings, you know, but always having my folders ready for every application. So that's what I want to let you guys know. So you made the wrong decision according to my email that I received from the council. I don't know if you got any comments about any of that, but that's what they think.
The only comment I have is that I think that email went out back several weeks ago to everybody whose term was expiring on any board.
Okay,
and, it's just out of a boilerplate. You
no,
know,
you shouldn't have sent me one. You should have.
well, we hadn't
You said
decided,
it's been going on for years.
we had decided not to appoint you, so why would we not send you one? That's the process.
That's the process, okay? I'm just letting you know what's been going on, and I just wanna say, if you guys aren't kinda up to this job, you can't take criticism from the public. And tell them to follow land use ordinances and go to the Board of Appeals, then you guys need to go. Okay, you need to think about getting done. All right? That's all I get to say to you.
Comments, questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Bennett,
Yes, sir.
would it be easier if you came up and sat there?
Sure.
Then, Jonathan here? No. Well, Mr. Bennett, was told by Arthur, our, E91 addressing officer, that his number was originally assigned wrong. I went down to the street, and I agree it is. The even numbers are on the right, not on the left, from the intersection with the, Ledge Road, or whatever road it is. But there's only 6 houses on that road. 3 of them have big bright green or blue official signs. 3 of them don't, I wish they did. But I wanted to ask Arthur, I'm under the impression that, and Arthur's actually technically right. So I don't wanna, he's doing his job. But,
He's also very nice.
yeah, I mean, he's got.
It was a nice discussion.
Yeah, but, so, and what the question I wanted to ask him is, and I assume it will, this is not only gonna affect Mr. Bennett, but it's gonna affect everybody on that street if we redo it, correct it right. It's a very short street, 6 houses. I personally would, favor granting Mr. Bennett his appeal. I feel much better if the other houses would put up the official green sign. Because we have people who work the ambulance that don't live there. And they're gonna, if they go up there and don't know who you are, they're gonna be looking on the left for an even number. And would go right by it, turn around, I mean, that's precious time, so. But that's not your problem.
Could be.
Thoughts?
Is it your understanding that it's because you're on the wrong side of the street for?
That's what Arthur said. I just took the number that was assigned to me.
Yeah.
When I moved in 21 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's never come up. I've never had
Yeah.
anybody have a trouble finding me or anything.
Do you know if any of the other residents on that street were notified that they were gonna have to change it?
I think there was, I think Arthur said that there was one other guy that changed some time in the past. On down the other cul-de-sac. And that, it had never noticed me before.
But they come around, they're even on the left. Excuse me, they're. Got that wrong. They're odd on the left as you drive in and they should be even. You come around and Mr. Bennett's that's kind of at the end of the cul-de-sac. So it's hard to tell whether he's left or right, but I guess if you count every 50 feet up the left side, it ends up 3 numbers off for Mr. Bennett, but it's also gonna affect everybody else. And I agree, it is one pain in the neck to change all of your credit card. I mean, he put it in his appeal letter. It goes on and on and on. And I'm sure there's things you haven't thought of.
No, that's true. It'll be surprises.
Oh, yeah.
For the rest of eternity.
Yeah. So other thoughts?
Fire chief, got any wisdom words for us?
I mean, if I was thinking of the right road, we've had problems there in the middle of the night trying to find places because the numbers throw us off going out in there. So like John said, if they're not well marked, it's very hard for us to find. It takes, like you said, precious time for us to locate a house, in the middle of the night. when, with these numbers messed up like that. So we had talked about it for quite a few years before he got over there to look into it, I guess.
Well, I'm on the board of the homeowners association, so maybe I could make sure that everyone has the official marker.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be a huge.
that would be huge help.
I think I could do that for you guys and.
And the fire department ambulance could post something or send word, make sure folks know that that particular road is
Like a
backwards.
emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, we're talking 6 houses, or is it 80?
Six, I think.
But again, you're having a heart attack and it takes an extra minute and a half, that's,
Yeah,
so. Other questions, thoughts?
No, I agree that we should let it stay the way it is.
Okay. And again, I want to be very clear that Arthur technically is absolutely 100% correct.
Yeah, no, I don't have any argument.
But I'd make that a motion that we authorize the override of the street name
Yeah, actually,
authorities.
we're granting his appeal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For all of the houses.
Yeah.
For this particular reason.
What street?
Let's drive.
What drive, yeah.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Dave, anything else to add? Okay. Yeah, and that would be really appreciated if you could do.
Yeah, I give it a shot. I can't make people do stuff, but.
No, I know.
Don't we?
I can try to. You probably know that.
Okay, all, further discussion? All those in favor? Okay, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And they can buy those signs here. Okay, I meant to. I don't have anything to report on the members report, other than earlier tonight, we set the mill rate. Which is what do we set it at?
10.97,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, 10.97.
Which is a reduction in the mill rate, but with the 30% factor, it's against a higher value. So tax bill on the average, I think we were talking about
Between 4 and 10.
Yeah.
Or
Or,
4 and 12, depending.
but given the school budget, which is 70% of our tax bill, your tax bill, went up 10%, we feel that we did fairly well, so. And I would urge people to attend that school budget meeting. That's where.
It's a bunch of people.
That's budget, that's where your taxes are really set, so. Anything you want to report, or Jeff, I'm gonna add this as a new standing item.
I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay, adjustments to the agenda, so I got a couple of quick ones, I messed up, and I think I told it in an email, Sandra has more than just the item on the agenda. So we can take that up when we get to that discussion about the preserve. And, we do have to, we have 2 nominations to make to the auxiliary board. One is for Terry Baines. Is the current membership willing to continue? And, this came from the other one, I'll think of it. Right, got it. Any adjustments? So,
No,
okay. I'm gonna jump around a little bit here. Got a new hire, Jeremy Duda.
yeah, he's on Zoom. He come down sick today, so he had to jump on Zoom and not be in person.
Hi, Jeremy, can you hear us?
I'm here. I can hear you. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All
You
right.
want to just briefly tell us about, a little bit about yourself, and I mean briefly.
Sure. My name's Jeremy Duda, originally born in Brooklyn, New York. Moved here about 4 years ago. because my father ran a nonprofit summer camp up here my whole life. So that's what originally brought me up here. I worked at Lyman Morse for 3 years until the head of the systems department left and started his own business. So now I work for him. We're currently building a 98-foot boat at Rockport Marine. And the reason that I joined the fire department is I really want to spend a lot more time helping people. The treatment of my father when he died last year really made me realize that there's an open space for people who care. So I'd like to dedicate a lot more of my time to the community and doing what I can to help.
Where do you live currently?
I live in Owl's Head.
Okay, so you're close by.
I'm right next to the Transportation Museum.
Okay, questions?
Is he going to the fire department or ambulance?
He wants to do both. We hired him on to the fire department, just to be him.
So this
So
is
we
for the
need-
fire
This
department.
is for both, pretty much, yeah.
So, okay, so we need to make a motion to appoint him to the fire department
Yeah,
As
if you don't
a-
mind,
as a what?
on the fire department,
Yeah, what position?
right now, it's just gonna be an exterior firefighter.
Okay.
Until he gets the training.
Fine, okay.
Yep.
Let's deal with that first.
Okay, so I would move that we appoint you to the South Thomaston Fire Department as a interior fire, exterior fire.
Yeah, he wants to become. an
Yeah,
engineer.
okay.
He's crazy. Okay, and as EMS, I assume it's a driver?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
He doesn't have a,
No, he wants to go to school and do all that stuff, just, it's gonna be a process.
is there a motion?
So moved.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay. Did we vote on the first one?
No.
No,
Oh, let's vote on the first one. All those in favor of the first motion? I told you, I'm bad. And all those in favor of the second motion? Okay.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sorry I fell under the weather. I would have liked to have been there today, but that's
That's
but
fine. Okay, we dealt with some of the issues that are on this agenda that were of little interest to the public, like the minutes and stuff earlier. So I think, is anyone here for any, you're here for a single purpose, right? Okay, and David's home babysitting 2 kids, so we'll take you over.
All right,
Introduce yourself.
so hi everyone, my name is Eva Burke, and you can see me on the screen there. I'm, live over on Dublin Road, and I'm on the South Thomaston Resilience Committee, as well as my colleague over here, Nancy, and, we just wanted to make the select board aware of a grant application that we're submitting. There's no action that you need to do today, but we're looking for any additional, items that you need before you, at your next meeting, hopefully approve this grant application to move forward and get submitted to the state. And also, write a letter of recommendation for us that needs to be included in the application. So the grant is a state grant, to receive additional solar capacity at the community center. So if you guys remember from last time, I wasn't around, but Nancy was, you all got a pretty small grant that was effective in putting in 1 solar panel, so it was around 50K that was received. Now the cap is up to 75K, so we can get an additional solar array as well as possibly some battery storage at the community center site. So why do we want to do this? Because the first one worked and it's a little bit of low hanging fruit. We can put another one right next to the old one and get more power coming back to the grid, which gives us more credits and saves town more money over the next 30 or so years. So that's our main reason. The second thing that we're working on is whether or not it's suitable to have battery storage, like have both of the arrays tied into battery storage in the community center itself. And what that will do is it'll be extra backup after that propane generator is done, but it could also be the first thing that turns on when the grid goes down. So the panels would actually feed into the building, and that would be more secure for us to have power at the center for a number of reasons. So we're looking forward to talking more to EMS and fire about what we could do with that extra battery storage and what municipal building would fit best in. Right now, we just want an okay from you guys to keep working on this grant application. We got a letter of recommendation from the Lions Club and also from the facilities committee. All the facilities committee is asking us to do is stay out of the footprint of their future plans for the building. We don't anticipate that the two things will kind of collide. So right now it's just grant application time and it's due at the end of the month, so we'll come back to you at the next meeting and just ask for your approval then. So any questions, concerns, what we're looking for, or things to stay clear
Yeah, I got, so this is not a federal grant, it's a state grant?
of? Not a federal grant, state
But
grant,
is
the
the
money.
fund, is the funding to the state coming from the feds?
Some of this pot could be, but likely not this one, so we'll either get it or we won't, and that's pretty much it, but.
And you're not gonna actually do the project or expend any funds until you've got the grant in hand, correct?
So the next two things to come up would be August 15th, we've asked the same contractor that did the previous work, Sundog Solar, to give us an estimate on doing this additional work. They may try to ask us whether or not we wanted to put some money down to like secure a panel with all, prices going this way and that. You wouldn't have to do that, you can make that call at that time, but there's no, in order to get the money and build the stuff within 12 months, which is what we'd be proposing, the town doesn't have to spend anything now, no. Does that make sense?
I would just caution, because right now, anything that says solar. Is some of it with already promised grant money is not getting the grant money that was promised. And
Federal. And
federal,
but yeah,
the
no,
state is,
Yeah,
the state has a lot of solar projects that are actually funded from
right,
the feds. And those monies are, some of them are gone, not ever coming, and some of them are delayed or questioned.
yeah,
so
That, I'd just be cautious.
I think actually that's probably worth clarifying with the state officials. Is any of this federal money that could be, withdrawn, so.
Yeah.
The other, anything else?
No.
So, the other question I had, I understand you coordinated with the facilities committee, which was great. Is in the last grant, it wasn't supposed to cause us any work at all, which didn't prove to be true at all. We were supposed to get a tax credit, and the plan was, as I understood it, to use that tax credit when it came to, put, stone and weed killer fabric under the, panels that are there and put some fencing around it, because there's a playground right there. And that, we chased that and chased that, and spent hours trying to chase that down, we finally gave up on it. Is there any, what's the current thinking on that? Now we're talking about expanding. And we still haven't really finished the first one. And so I'm curious what if there's been any discussion about that, or.
we know a few more things than we did last time, but there's still things that we don't know, so we know that it's difficult to get those tax credits back. And so what we're gonna put in the grant application is a line item for like an accountant to help us go after tax credit. But I think we've talked about this, like our best path forward is not relying on the credit at all. So like make sure that, we're not gonna shoot for the stars and go like way above and beyond. That we want to ask for funds that ensure that like definitely have, Sundog said they could include in their quote, and if we get it below 75K, putting the fresh rock under the panels and installing the fence for us.
The old,
The old panel,
oh, great,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
So
so that's
we-
what we're shooting
so
for, so
we-
not relying on it at all. It's like-
anticipating to try to finish that first project as
Yeah.
part of this. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes me. 'Cause, I mean, that's gonna get maintenance heavy, and I'm still afraid we're gonna get kids climbing and. I know we try our best and Penny keeps a good eye on it, but
Yeah.
she's not there 24/7. known, so, I just hate to see them
Mm-hmm.
get damaged or
Yeah,
some kid, I don't know. Hurt, not using it as playground, but then, so.
yeah, understood. And we
Yeah.
got, I don't wanna take up too much of your time, but we heard. We're trying to hear from two towns. The first town said, what credit are you talking about? We never went after that credit because it's tax credit. We're in a municipality, we never get taxed. So we were told to go after it. Another town apparently got the credit, but we think it was routed through their vendor for solar, and we'll try to figure out what they did, but it still seems pretty unreliable.
Yeah, that's my thought.
So I had talked to Terry because I wasn't sure what was the issue with that once they came back. I'm not sure what Jen was thinking about the accountant and doing it and paying that person. I filled out 2 of the forms already. I'm not sure if you just want to just cut it and say no, or.
Well, I mean, something that was gonna cost us no money and no staff time. And we've got, you know, what, 400 hours in the chasing this credit down. It's not a priority with me.
Okay,
But if you.
so I did some research and
If you find yourself with a few extra minutes and can bring in 15 grand or whatever it was.
okay, yeah, because I did see the form that I need to do. All you have to do is
Yeah,
upload
stuff, yeah, probably.
Good
them.
luck.
So,
But I don't want you spending, we got too much going on, and it's too
Yep.
complicated, but we don't want you spending a lot of time on it, that's
well,
why
it's
we,
good. 'Cause I
that's
only
why
have
we
2.
pulled the trigger on. Is that agreeable?
Yeah, I agree with her.
Okay, yeah.
I do have one question though, and you guys are the right ones, I think, to do this. Could you double check on the applicability of putting the stone in the? I have now read more than I wanted to read on what the best thing to put underneath solar panels is. And there is, the jury, I think, might still be out. The last thing I read was that stones are not a good idea, that natural grass is a better idea, so. But if you could, just double check on that to figure out which one is the right way to go.
These panels here have, they can install from either side. That's why you put something light colored under it. Did you see that in anything you were reading?
Yeah, and they were saying if you've got this, that we're opening up another can of worms. But if you got the type that is double-sided, it doubles the chance of it leaching into anything, because it now has 2 sides that could be damaged and leach into the ground, and so they're recommending that if you have that kind, don't get it. But so, but again, all I am is somebody who was looking into it for the airport, and we chase these rabbit holes a bunch out there.
Yeah.
What did they use? What did they use?
Grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have a staff to cut it and mow it, so.
I think the main thing would be the easiest to maintain the support, and so we'll just work with John and come back. You know, we'll share a document with you guys before the next meeting that that explains kind of what we're thinking, and then you can always change course.
Yeah, I'm just asking you to dot the i's and cross the t's and.
The last thing I want to bring up really quickly is that questions like that, we're gonna ask to, the Island Institute volunteer to give us
Good.
some free technical assistance.
Good source.
So we're gonna hear from like 3 different other towns that have gone through this and see if they all say yay or nay on a few of these topics. So it's grant application time. We're not supposed to be, you know, total experts yet, but they're gonna help us out before the end of the month.
Good, thank you.
So I don't think we need a motion, I think we'll give you a nod to proceed with some caution, cautionary questions or whatever. So are you all set?
Yep, thanks, guys.
Okay,
Thank
you can go rest your day if it's on. You don't have to, but you can, but,
I'll skedaddle pretty quick, thanks. I feel to see that.
okay, let's talk about your HIP EMA plan,
Yeah.
mitigation plan.
So, I mean, all of the numbers that were presented in this whole thing was before I took over.
Yeah.
Something that Betty and Becky had submitted everything to county, and county EMA had put this whole thing together, so I really had nothing to do with it. But if you guys have any questions, I can certainly try to answer them. I guess all that they need is your approval to move forward with it and just make it at the county level.
Well, we noticed a couple of things, just, I'll be honest, with you, I haven't read it.
Yeah, it's only like 150.
Yeah, I know, it was done. And it's broad.
Yeah, good bedtime material.
But, we did notice that it still references Betty in there in some
Yeah.
places.
And Becky.
And Becky, and, you know, they're long gone,
Mhm.
so that needs to be changed, I don't know what it has for projects. Listed, but some of those, I think. If they just lifted it from the last one, they're done.
There was a few that were completed, and then there's a couple that we had submitted for funding, but the funding isn't available yet. And that's all that we're waiting for is that funding.
So I guess. I guess, I feel a need to, much as I don't want to, I feel a need to peruse it. And
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could, you're more attuned to this than I am, but. Before we actually, is there a time deadline here? Or-
She said as soon as possible.
I like that. Well, maybe, can we table it to our next agenda?
What time is it?
And,
September 8th. Is that right?
and if people
No,
see
9th.
things,
September 9th.
September 9th, if people see things, well, that might end up being a conflict, I think. But we can deal with that later. If people see things, I think just email correctly, and, yeah, you can make those changes here and there, and, or they can, however that works, so. Sorry, wasn't able to read it, and sorry I wasn't able to make a walkthrough on solar, I tried, but didn't, I was tied up and didn't get out in time, so, but thanks for the invite. So let's, motion to table this to our next meeting. I won't say it's September 9th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay, thank you. You know, free to go, or you can sit and
I'll sit around. till
sit and listen. Let's see, what do we got there? Let's deal with the extension of the moratorium ordinance. Jeff, you asked us to be on, we need to make a finding or findings as the basis for the extension. I checked the law and it says that we're not gonna, I can't remember what I got it in. But they were working on it, we need more time. And it said nothing's changed, there was. Nothing's changed, should have had it done ahead of time. No, I thought I had. I'll go again then, let's see it. No, I had it. Here we go, I think. Ah. Yeah. Last thing. Would be. Okay, no. For an additional 180, if the board finds that the problem giving rise to the need for this moratorium still exists.
It does.
Which I think that is finding we can make. And that, reasonable progress is being made to alleviate the problem giving rise to the need for the moratorium ordinance. And I think we have, you've met a couple of times and laid out, doing some research and, so if we all agree that those findings are in place, we can accept a motion to extend it for, another 180 days.
I'd make a motion that because the situation still exists and that work is progressing and because the current timetable would not allow adequate public input and notification, because it would be during the winter, that we extend the moratorium for another 180 days.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Any comments from the public? All those in favor? Okay. Let's, I want to jump and talk about our meeting schedule. Table that. And myself staff. So September we have, yeah, the 12th does work for me, okay, the 12th and the, what else?
Yeah, we got the 9th and
The
the
9th
and the
Oh, later,
23rd,
later.
in August.
The 9th and the what else?
23rd.
Um. Yeah. That works, okay, so let's talk about. October. You know. Um. The 6th and 20th would be our,
No.
No, the 7th, and
14th.
21st,
yeah, sorry, yeah.
or the
7th
14th and the
14th
28th,
and the 28th
When are you gone?
8th through the 18th.
of October.
So is the 7th okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we tentatively set the 7th and the 21st?
Can we do the 28th instead?
Yeah. 7th and 28th,
Yeah.
so, over, believe it or not. The docket. 7th and 28th. Okay.
You said the 21st or the 28th?
28th.
Well. Probably doesn't break your heart, but we're just getting back, so.
Whatever we're at, as long as I'm here, I'm okay. Yeah.
Well, it's also hard to get the agenda out if you're not here, so.
Yep.
Let's take up the correspondence with Lucy Levenfeller regarding fireworks. I spoke to Lucy, emailed her back. I told her that it would be great if she could come and speak to her proposal to outlet again fireworks in South Thomaston. But I told her, one, I thought it would be a hard sell. And two, enforcement always an issue, and so she said, well, I know, and so she decided she wasn't gonna come, but she just wanted to make it clear. Where she stands, and I personally agree with her, we have a dog that, now that lighting them up is morning down below. Someone told me it's scaring seagulls off, the birds and stuff, but I have a dog that just goes in the dark, and, so I personally agree with her, but I'm also facing reality that I don't think we can make that step. And I don't know how to enforce what we currently have, but
But, and I, from her letter, she has a misconception of what the town rules are, so.
I didn't get into that level of detail.
Because unless it's the 4th of July, the weekend prior, the weekend after the 4th of July, or New Year's. You can't set them off.
I know, but.
Or you can send them off at night, but the time is,
Till twilight.
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's,
very limited time,
yeah.
but, you know, we have no mechanism to enforce it.
Well, she said that she thought if they could go to 10 o'clock and. If it's the weekend before 4th of July or after, it's till 11. And on New Year's, it's till 12:30 a.m. So, I think part of it is understanding what our. But those are the only times you can do it, after dusk.
A lot of the ones that sound like gunshots aren't even in South Thomaston. They're from St. George.
Yeah, no, I'm talking,
I can tell you from
yeah.
my house.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about, they're close.
Yeah.
And it's, real close, like right behind us.
Oh, okay,
On abutting property,
yeah,
so. So she was satisfied with that. She said, if I have the energy sometime, I might. Draw up a petition so you, doesn't put you guys in a bad spot. And I said, "Well, that's always your right, so. I said, town meeting is in June, so. So, okay. So Sandra. We don't have the deed. From Melissa, correct?
No,
Okay, so,
you want to just cover all the forest preserve stuff at once?
yeah, if you, yeah, wanna come up.
Yeah.
But I'd like to do it fairly methodically, quickly. We don't have the deed, so we can't deal with that tonight.
Correct, but also methodically on the. And one problem is I've not been able to reach Melissa.
Yeah, I know.
But my recollection of what she had told us is that there's an order things have to happen in.
Yeah,
Step one, we've got to correct Smith's deed.
and which we do not have.
We do not have the correction. I gather it would be some kind of letter of agreement between the select board and Jeff. That you're both happy with this change. Step one. Step two is a special town meeting to apply that to Klein. Then. We can do the deed, the other deeds, we can do the 5 parcels into one, glued together with the access easement. Recorded together with the surveys and the legal descriptions. And at that point, we can do it then because. The conditions, the same conditions apply to all 5 parcels. So that is why we have to do it in that order. And I believe she said that only then should we do the extinguishing of Prothero, because it has to be for the benefit of this thing which doesn't exist until we do those other deeds. So I think that's.
So my point is, I don't think there's much we can do tonight on that at all.
Exactly.
And we gotta
Exactly.
get those deeds from her. And I question whether or not we're gonna be able to hold a town meeting on the 28th. We may have to move it to.
I wouldn't even try. I would, there's no rush. I mean,
Okay.
it'll happen.
So why don't we had that tentatively scheduled, we hadn't really published anything, because. So why don't we put that off at least to the next meeting in our lines?
As in October,
First meeting in October, yeah, and.
but we should know. If it
She can't be on
ever
vacation.
turns up,
Yeah.
we should know well before then, when we can do steps 1 and 2.
Yeah. And of course, this is always the issue when dealing with people who are giving you steep discounts. It's hard to be bossy.
So I think we have to remain incredibly grateful.
Yeah.
And she's giving us good, there was excellent advice.
Yeah.
It's just that she seems to have vanished.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, so, and then,
okay, so, that I think knocks out some of the stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Special town meeting and Rothero, and I don't know what you meant issuing deed from Forest Preserve, but
Well, that was,
that
we just talked about it.
Okay, so all those are taken care of. Other things that didn't quite make it to the agenda.
Yeah, transition issue, but.
Whatever.
Okay.
So, I had sent, and I did send to you folks, the draft fundraising letter, which of course in the interim we tweaked a little bit more. So. Ultimately, we need the select board's approval. And agreement that the letter can be from the select board and the conservation commission.
Yeah.
And
I'm good with it. I don't know if anybody else would, but.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
the total that estimate that we're asking for remains 50,000. But there have been things that happened, so we actually now have the forester's report. And so on, so there'll be just a couple of tweaks to the letter. Also, I don't feel comfortable, unless you do, but putting phone numbers for, for more information, contact you and me. I'd rather have it be your town email address.
Yeah.
And I think I'd like to have contact to me through the Conservation Commission dedicated email address. So that we don't publish our numbers for
Yeah.
everybody.
We can do that, right?
No.
Set up a South Thomaston, Sandra at South Thomaston.me.
That would be fine,
Okay,
or I could just have the questions go to the Conservation Commission and I'll see that that's.
Yeah, that way if you're not the chair, we don't have to change it.
That's right, so let's just say Conservation Commission, and you don't have to make new email.
Perfect.
All right.
Someday maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Or even, that's a long handle, but even Concom or something.
okay, so assuming that we have. And I think I need a vote if you're prepared to do that. Do we have permission to go forward and send it to the town office to put on the website and list it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good to go.
Absolutely.
Make that a motion.
Also move.
second.
Further discussion? You're competing with a lot of other fundraising
Well,
efforts.
yeah, but we're so vanishingly small in comparison to what they're asking.
And
There's
sure.
stuff.
It brings in more than it's gonna cost, so.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
all in favor? Yeah.
Oh,
We're done. Okay, and you,
right, and then a couple more things.
yeah,
I sent to you all today, we just got it today, the forester's report, which is 83 pages. I have not absorbed it and I do not expect that you have.
no,
And she sent her invoice. I'd like to really be sure I'm happy with the report before I pay the invoice, but, she says 30 days.
as far as I'm concerned, once you tell the treasurer to pay it, assuming it bumps up correctly with the contract.
It's exactly to the
Okay.
dollar, and
Yeah.
she had even said that she would charge 75 an hour if she had to locate boundaries. She did not.
So personally, I think we've already approved it, and as soon as you're satisfied with the work, you can tell the treasurer, Terry, Terry's our treasurer now.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, Terry's our treasurer, tax collector, and Hannah's our town clerk.
Okay,
And we're splitting that.
but this will come out of the reserve, because at the moment, I don't think we've got.
Yeah.
We're scraping bottoms, but
Okay.
that's why one of the fundraising better to get out.
Yeah. Fine. with that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Super simple.
yeah, it's kind of six, one half dozen the other, but yeah,
Well, the idea is that
I know, you want some,
we'll get in donations and.
yeah, and we don't want to take $100 here and $100 out of the reserve, so
Yeah.
that's, so,
Okay,
I don't think we need a motion, we already approved.
I think
it.
we already approved that, yeah.
just wanted to be
So
sure. you're
just long as
comfortable
you're-
with that.
Sign off and say good to pay, and
Down the road, once we do all this legal stuff, we'll need an appraisal. And Lotus River Land Trust gave us a list of folks, we are talking to some of them who say they're too busy to do it, but when we tell them that you probably wouldn't need to do it before October, they may be back in the game. We have this interesting wrinkle that the land at the point of sale was worth a lot more than it instantly became when you put the preservation conditions on it. So we have to get an appraisal that supports the value currently in order to go for title insurance. That may or may not support the amount we're asking for the grant. We learned, kind of to my surprise, that appraisers these days are able to appraise it at either the date of sale or current, or both. So I've written to Laura Brown at Land for Maine's Future and said, well, how about if the current value appraisal supports the grant, which we're hoping it will, because Jeff's, you know, the land we got from Jeff was priced at a quarter of its assessed value. So we're still hoping that even, we don't know how much, putting those conditions lower the value of the land. So it may or may not still support the grant, but what I've asked is if not, can we also have it appraised as of the sale date? And she's replied that that would not be consistent with the usual requirement, but they might consider a waiver. So I think what we could do is get the first appraisal, which we have to get for the title insurance. And if it supports the full grant, we're done. If not, then we can ask, would they waive if we got the other, and not get the second appraisal unless they say yes, they'd waive. So
Sounds like the plan.
down the road, I mean, we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Other thing that I just wanna put out for you to be aware of is that the access road, as you know, is in terrible shape. And maybe sooner than later, we have to do some minimal repairs on it. That's just a thought to be dealt with.
Yeah, Don Prothero and Leslie and I cut path last year, but I'm sure it's grown in. But even the road from the landfill to the V in the road is grown in a lot. And like I said, if you can put a conservation commission, maybe can drum up a group of volunteers, that would be, I know you, not, but Leslie said she was more than willing to participate.
Okay,
And I think Don Prothero would help again.
you know, I think we need somebody to help mastermind, you know, what we need to do.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
skills we need to do it.
Well, I don't think it's that big a deal. I think 5 or 10 people with clippers can do a lot.
Okay.
And so.
And there may be
hopefully
some, filling in really low spots in the road.
Yeah, that's gonna require hiring someone, but.
Yeah.
But, you know, I've been thinking about that. That's just gonna invite traffic down there.
ATV.
Yeah. I think,
I don't know, the ATVs seem to like it in worse shape the better.
yeah, I know, but they'll just mess it up.
Yeah.
They're staying off it. I think once you get to the V. I envision that as a potential parking area,
Mm-hmm.
and then from there it's walk. You know,
Mhm.
and so I'm not sure I would spend a lot of time at this point.
If
Hiring,
there could be a parking area at the V, that would be great.
yeah, because, I mean, I'm not saying, that's just what my vision is.
But it's good to have it, your
Yeah.
vision, and
Yeah.
maybe it will grow.
Okay,
Okay.
are we good? Okay,
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you. And thanks for the other night too. Good notes.
Oh, good. So you're gonna keep bugging Melissa?
Well, you know, as John said, I can't be a total pest.
No, I
and
know.
These people aren't worth it.
You're gonna cautiously bug her.
Exactly.
So, follow up on town meeting discussion, I think we sort of dealt with that in that discussion. So, your motion to take, well, no, you dealt with it as a. Yeah, we can just, why don't we just definitely table that? So the minutes show some closure,
So moved.
all in favor? H Realty, I wanna discuss an executive session. I don't think there's any sense in talking about the press row. We're also of the same mind, I assume. But we don't wanna get out ahead of ourselves, so. I told them too that we were looking at that day, but it'll be okay. So. Why don't we indefinitely focus on that, table that,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor? Okay, is that everything except for? Oh. Still haven't thought- Yeah, I still haven't thought of, well, two things. The people whose terms are up on the auxiliary is Irv, and that's a nomination that needs to come from the facilities committee. And it's Terry. And, Chris Wright. Because they were both, so, I would request a motion to, Terry's agreed, and I think Chris has, I can't remember it for sure, but I would, entertain a motion to nominate, not appoint. Terry Baines and Chris Wright to, both the 3-year terms on the auxiliary board of directors. And I'll chase down facilities committee about, hopefully they can make a nomination, of someone, or re-nominate her, if that's up to them.
So moved to nominate both of them to 3-year terms.
Second that.
Okay. Further discussion, anybody? Okay. All right. And I'll send an email to Kevin and Candace. When, do you know when the facility committee meets again?
I was talking to
But is it late this month or?
late September, early September.
Oh, so it's a while. Okay.
This, there's not a lot of news really.
Yeah, okay, so that gives me time to. Oh, I hope it's not after that. Well, that's all right, we'll have a forum even if they can't get us one, because where the auxiliary is required to hold its, annual meeting between, by the end of September, we were looking at September 2nd. Although the silence from everybody but, Chris Wright and Sandy Whiteman had been deafening. So, they were not, but we gotta do it sometime in September. And at a minimum, we gotta, reappoint or appoint members, and elect officers. It may just be an administrative, issue. Okay, anything else we got here?
I make a motion to appoint Catherine Wiley to the planning board with a term ending in 2027.
Okay, is there a second?
August 26th.
I'll second that.
For the next meeting.
So, yeah, that is before September 2nd, yeah, great, okay. Second? Further discussion? And I'm grateful that Catherine has stepped up because we're really struggling, as Herb pointed out. Next forum, you have a discussion?
Yes, I do. I actually posted on the listserv that there's a vacant seat
Yeah.
there and I have 2 people already that would like to join.
And we sent this in something?
Yes, one is Denise and then the other is Charles Coons, he's a really, really tall guy.
Well, we have an alternate and one vacancy. Would you prefer to be an alternate or a member?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Number.
Okay. And you're here.
Yeah.
I don't know what the term would be. Herb is, no, Herb was up, so it'd be a 3-year term.
Three, yeah.
But we didn't reappoint her.
After 3 years.
Yeah. So it'd be 3 years. Yeah. Is there a motion to appoint Denise to planning board for a 3-year term?
I would move to appoint Denise to a 3-year term to the planning board.
I will second that.
Further discussion? It's your last chance to back out.
Yeah, she's in.
Okay.
Oh, I'm in.
All those in favor? I feel much more comfortable if you weren't driving around with that Connecticut plate on.
Oh, not my choice to have the Connecticut plate on. I have nothing to do with that.
That's like Audrey, whatever her name was, campaigning for the state legislature, and she's driving around with a New Jersey plate on. It's not doing you any good.
My husband won't change it to me.
And I'll make a motion to appoint Mark Coons to the,
Yeah,
as an alternate to the planning board with an undetermined end date.
Do you say Mark?
Yeah,
Is it Charles?
it's Charles, but everybody calls it Mark.
Oh.
okay,
Charles Mark.
you know,
Yeah,
oh,
he
okay.
used to work for me at there.
Coons or Coons?
Coons, Kunc.
Oh, Coons.
Do you have his letter?
I do, it's actually on the computer right now, would you like to see it?
Does it have any background about him or?
No, he said, I'd like to be on it,
Okay,
that's all it says.
all right, well, we'll appoint him as alternate, and if he's willing to do that, that would be great.
Okay.
If not, tell him to hang around 2 weeks. And that's gonna help Terry out. Terry probably already told Denise when your next meeting is.
I did. I just don't know the time.
6 o'clock. All right, got it.
Okay, further discussion? Jeff, you know, I was
Yeah,
hesitant to do it without knowing anything about him, but since you know him.
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, okay, all those in favor?
And I would like to add, for all the new people to the planning board, there is lots of good training that MMA offers. Some of it you can do online, some of it you can do in person. But, I highly recommend that you get it, and I think the new state law requires planning board members to get the training within, I think, 6 months.
Oh, sir, would you say that again?
MMA has training.
No, state law requires.
State law requires planning board members to be trained within, I think the new law is 6 months appointment.
I think they're also required to go through the freedom of access. Maybe not, but, no, maybe that's budget committee, yeah. Okay, warrants we dealt with earlier. Here was the meeting, anything we're missing here? All right, let's talk about. I don't know why I have discussion with library and community facilities committee. You?
The first one, A?
Yeah,
I don't know, it was already
no,
on.
yeah,
I think it's repeat of the other one.
I don't know,
okay, I don't either.
I didn't know if that was the same thing
That
as
was something. Jen had.
A or. I have no idea.
All right, so, just again, to close the loop on the minutes, can we have a motion to it, we definitely, table J,
So move.
Second.
all those in favor? Okay, Kate, we're gonna deal with it, realty and tax wide and executive. So let's talk about follow-up discussion on when, who's letter and actually it's more than her letter. I didn't realize that. It doesn't say who authored it, but there's a draft of a supposed management plan for community center. Which, I'm not, does anyone anybody know who drafted this or submitted it or?
I gave it to Sue, Sue scanned it, capability.
So,
No, I just scanned this, so you guys would have it.
oh, okay. Oh, okay.
He's asking who wrote it.
Yeah. It doesn't say who wrote it, so. Anyway, okay, so that's really, I guess, kind of take those up in two. Things together. So Lynn letter. I hate to even look at the date.
Her letter is June 7th.
Yeah, that's why I hate to look at it. Talks about, some sort of management committee, and then it was followed up. Because I went to Sue. And I just got it in the packet. I didn't know about it until we got the packet.
Oh, I did forward it to you guys.
You did?
I did,
I went back. And
I scanned it and forwarded it to both of
I
you.
must have,
I didn't get any response. I even went back to check to make sure I had.
yeah,
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. I didn't get it. I even checked the archive, junk, spam.
Oh, I did, and I checked.
I believe it. So, Lynn, do you wanna talk about I guess it's your proposal or,
I think there are a few people behind it as well as I am.
okay, can you speak to it though?
It's, the proposal is that I feel that we should have a board. To help with the daily management and. The going forward with the library community center, that it is not left up to one person. To take care of everything. I know that Penny's been overwhelmed. And she says a number of times how she can't do everything. And that she needs help, and I think it's time that we give her help, and this would be a good way to start. And I think the board would work similarly to the select board and how it works, and so everything is brought up, there's multiple voices. And included into the decision making and the process. And no one person is in charge. And it's very easy, and I heard it earlier from somebody that one person it's very easy for one person to go down a rabbit hole. Develop a collection of space that is not of interest or service to the population. They are serving, a board serves as a check and balance with the library director to help prevent this. And it's pretty as much as simple as that, and I'm not sure why it hasn't happened before now.
So question I had, have you reviewed this with Penny?
I didn't see any reason to.
Okay, so that'd be a no.
I didn't see any reason.
Okay, well,
I don't know what else to say.
no, that would be a no.
I thought the best thing was to come to the select board.
Yeah, so
If she were a select board member, it would have gone to her as well.
I'd like her to get a copy. To be able to review and comment. I think we decided when we reappointed her,
For a billion years.
correct me if I'm wrong. No, it was 1 year, I think.
That was the comment that was made while it was being.
That was a comment that was made that was for a billion years, so she doesn't have to.
Yeah, oh, I see, okay. I think we decided though, we do need sort of one person in charge of daily operations. And well, I think we felt that needed to be the director's role. Securing, maybe taking responsibility, not necessarily doing it herself, but taking responsibility for things like making sure the building is secured and maintenance issues are brought up and that type of stuff, but I'm not opposed to having an advisory committee or a management committee. But I'd like to maybe flesh this out a little more with some people and chat. You have some recommended.
Well, it's been so long that, the people that I've mentioned, it's gone on so long since June 7th.
Yeah, I know.
That, and it kind of fell through, I guess, the rabbit hole. And, so I would have to go back to these people to find the
Right,
interest
but
still.
I mean, you have some people that have to express interest.
Yes.
Yeah. Questions, comments?
Well, I'll be blunt. I'm against a management committee. And I'll give you example. Examples of duties of the management committee is to handle room and grounds rental forms and fees. That's specifically delegated from the town to the select. Board.
Exactly, but it hasn't been done, has it?
Sure it is.
When? How many forms have you received?
We're not supposed to receive them,
Yeah.
they're supposed to be kept on file.
And we establish what the fees are.
So you've
And
done it.
accept and process donations of all kinds. The town has authorized the select board to accept donations, nobody else.
And you received that, so you
Yes.
have, if I asked for your checks and balances and bookkeeping, and you would have all that.
Of course.
Oh.
Exactly what the treasurer gets paid for.
Okay, so can I see a copy of it?
It's part of what she does every day. So
Who,
Terry, the treasurer.
Terry? You? I'm new.
Financial management, budget and provide monthly reports to the management committee.
And you have all that?
What I'm telling you is that's our job. It's not some committee's job. Committee can be an advisory to the people that we appoint, but they are not the managers of the people that we appoint. The town has given us the authority, not anybody else. So if any of this was gonna happen, it would require town vote to delegate the responsibility from this town to a particular,
Did the
like,
town vote on the director?
no, they've authorized
They
us to do
authorized
that.
us.
They authorized you to, okay.
Yeah, some of the things wouldn't necessarily have to go to a town vote, I mean, certainly, advisory committee that discusses.
I'm not against an advisory committee, I'm all for it.
But
I strongly,
and I agree, there's a big difference between an advisory committee that the director can use as a sounding board and a management committee. I mean, to me, they mean very different things.
But I think some of what they wanna do is take some of the stuff that Penny can't do because she's too busy.
Yeah.
And have other people help do that.
Yeah.
And, a volunteer coordinator or.
It's what started all this, but it's turned into something that I didn't expect. And so I'm very okay with just stepping back and letting the select board run the community center and library, because I can see that your minds have already been made up and how you're gonna go forward, and I just thought it was gonna be helpful.
Yeah.
For one person, but it appears that it's.
My mind.
I'm not either.
yeah, and mine isn't made up, it's just that what is on here isn't legal within the town.
You can
Structure.
change it whatever way you want, I
Well-
just wanted
Well,
it
I
to
just
be
got it,
a helpful.
That's
I
right.
sent it June 7th.
The letter,
But it,
yeah.
you heard the
Letter
discussion,
that, yeah,
it didn't get to us for some reason. Sue sent it, but stuff like that should come to the office, so anyway.
I brought it to the office.
Oh, she did.
Did, but Jen never made any,
I brought it to
copies
the
or
office,
anything like that.
addressed to the three of you,
Okay.
and it was put in your mailbox. And I never heard a word, so I just, And now, I don't know, what's the date today, what's called,
This
August.
was never in my notes.
I didn't think it was necessary until you read the letter and
Yeah,
made a
I'm
comment
not-
on that, I wasn't going.
Lynn gave me the second part when I met with her to invite her to a meeting.
And
And I
I said,
scanned it.
background, that. And so Sue said, can I have it? That's all that.
Yeah,
And so I paid for the rest of it, but
Okay,
the only thing was, it was the letter that I sent and, brought, hand delivered, addressed to each one of you. And, that was the beginning, and I thought we would have a discussion about that and go forward with that, but that never happened. And now we're at this point.
That was presented at a select board. That
I
you-
brought it
that
to
you-
the
That you
office.
weren't at it.
The select board meeting was 2 days after you finally read the letter.
Okay,
And I couldn't be here, Jack.
Okay.
You know, and,
that's not.
and it was
What
totally.
I'm saying is that we did discuss it at that select board.
No, you didn't. I was at a place and listened.
Matter of fact, I got chastised because I read it and it had derogatory comments for an individual.
Exactly. It wasn't meant to be derogatory. Nothing was meant to be,
But it was read during the meeting.
so.
You just said I didn't read it during the meeting,
I
that
didn't
it
say you
wasn't.
didn't read it. I said it wasn't addressed to me. And I couldn't make it to that meeting.
okay, well, we obviously had some communication transition issues.
And that's normal today.
And that was a problem we had, and hopefully we're through that, or at least for the time being. So, Jeff, would you like to mark this up?
I'd rather see a proposal that addresses something else. I'm not interested.
what do you mean a proposal that addresses something else? How is she?
An
supposed to-
advisory.
How is she supposed to know what she can and can't put in a proposal if you don't give her feedback on that?
Well, I just gave her feedback and she didn't like it.
Your feedback was?
Certain things were,
This specifically addresses
It
a
was
match.
just a letter to bring something to your attention.
no.
You're talking about the,
Oh, well, I didn't mean to send that. That's why you only got the letter, to thinking that maybe you would discuss it.
Okay. I think we're going around and around here.
In my mind, the issue is that one person cannot do everything at that library community center.
I agree with that.
And she needs support there.
Mhm.
We've already taken a portion of it. Because we've realigned how the monies are handled down there. That was specifically in response to your letter. Partially, I won't say specifically, partially.
So would you mind taking the lead on this a little bit?
Nope.
Working with the interested folks and maybe coming up with, and then when you come up with something, shoot it by us and then call me and say,
I'm sending you an email.
I'll make sure Hannah and Terry are in the loop
Okay,
as well. And
And the librarian, such.
the librarian, right, actually, the librarian, the community center director. Because I do like the idea of an advisory committee, and I do like the idea of, getting Penny some help. So,
Can I ask a question as the new treasurer?
yeah,
What's the plan with the donations that come in at the library,
Well-
book sales and coffee and?
the plan was, the checking account is closed,
Okay.
so she's not writing any more checks out of that, hopefully they've all cleared. Jen was committed to go down there every Monday to check on donations, which I thought was crazy to tie herself up every Monday, but I guess she was doing it, I don't know, Penny,
I've been bringing any donations to Cory.
yeah, okay.
Of the top.
Yeah, and then, and Penny has a petty cash of $500 and And when she falls below $500, and I don't mean a dollar below, but when it gets, you know, 200 or 200 bucks below, she can request a replenishment. And she's supposed to, provide the slips and, on the expenditures out of the petty cash.
So that just started happening.
Is there a schedule for when she should provide stuff,
Provide which,
like
I believe
how the money was spent?
yeah, I
Quarterly?
thought we discussed quarterly, but that doesn't mean she can't replenish her petty cash. If she goes out and gets something, you know, 3 purchases for $100
Right.
each, you know, so. So that is one thing that I think we've addressed. Penny's on board with it, and
And you're okay still bringing it up?
Yes.
I can do it. When you get as needed. Okay.
yeah, you guys can work that out how you wanna do it. I think commit to one day, especially on Monday, which is often a holiday. But, so we're gonna, is there a motion to, sign request that Sue work with, people that are interested in working with her, to look into the idea of an advisory committee for I assume we're talking about the library and community center, which
Yeah.
is kind of one, in my mind, it's kind of one thing. Is there a motion to that effect?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Anything else? Okay. Any, you have anything to add? Okay. All those in favor? Okay. We're gonna enter executive session, I think we got to vote on that. To discuss legal advice with our attorney regarding tax-acquired property. So I have a motion.
We got a question. I just bring up one thing real quick.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, no.
You should have spoke up.
It's okay. I was waiting until the end. Years ago, the selectmen had, kind of shut us down on filling pools and that stuff. I don't know if you remember that, if you were on here or not.
I know we shut it down on filling people's wells
Well, okay.
because of health contamination concerns.
Alright.
And I think that came from an insurance company and they said, no, can't be doing that.
Alright, so not pools, we can fill pools if we need to.
Why would you need to build pools?
If it, well, it-
People ask for it.
Well,
So we
did
get,
they pay you to do that?
yes,
Okay, because they should pay all the costs.
it's kind of a fundraiser thing. But that's not why I'm bringing this up. I've had a few people just in the past week that live on Spruce Island that have just holding tanks for their water in their houses, camps, whatever they may be. Without all this rain, they've run out now, and they're wondering if we can bring, one guy needs like 200 gallons to fill his tank, and
Yeah,
I
and
don't
that's
know what, you know.
typically what we couldn't do.
Yeah,
Okay, alright,
if it's in the closed system. The
Yeah.
concern was you contaminate it and it all die the next, you know.
that's what I wanted to make sure of. I couldn't remember what was
Yeah.
shut down for us, so.
But
I do recall the fire department being shut down from filling pools, but I think part of that was that whoever made the decision to shut it down didn't see an economic gain to it and didn't see the benefit of needing to every once in a while flush out your systems anyway. So I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I wasn't on the board.
as long as the costs are covered.
Right, yeah,
And
I don't want taxpayer dollars paying for it.
Right, and hopefully even get a little. I mean, you know, for your efforts, so.
No, the main thing was just to see what to tell those people.
Yeah,
that-
But you don't wanna introduce, from what I recall from the insurance people. You don't wanna introduce anything into their closed domestic water
Yep.
system.
Yep.
And it makes sense.
Oh, yeah, oh, definitely.
And you don't know the condition of their tanks or anything either, so
Right.
they could be contaminated and you could
Yeah,
get
the
blamed
next thing you
for
know,
it.
you're in this huge lawsuit about.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect. Well, I mean, yeah, I can respond back
Sorry, I took on, but I understand the problem. Who said we're being very cautious. I mean, we run out. You know, 20 minutes, it slowly comes back, but I'm afraid there's gonna be one day when it doesn't. Okay,
Yeah.
so is there a motion?
Make a motion, we enter into executive session in accordance with
Would love-
RSA 14056
Been there, done that.
E, I think, to discuss a real estate matter. Is E the right one?
No, discuss the lawyers.
Oh, lawyer's advice?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's what I'm gonna push on.
Oh,
Yeah, well, it's hard
to discuss legal advice.
But yes, I think so.
That was a great
Okay.
line.
Oh,
I think it is
thank you.
E. Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
And
So is it
she's
A?
so well.
Yeah,
It's a
she
personnel
is.
matter.
Yeah, his personnel.
Brain fever.
Yeah, no, I
He
remember.
is lawyer.
Tomorrow's just answers and.
You're going there tomorrow.
2 days, so test.
I already put it
Oh,
on.
no, you know what? It's blank right there.
So the 9 to 5, yeah.
Is it E?
With this,
Yeah.
West is different room, different.
Yeah, we're staying at my brother's tonight, and then we'll stay in the hotel right next to the.
Ladies, one, and it's great.
We'll be back Thursday, hopefully Thursday. No, I know, but I'm gonna learn.
We,
Meet with everybody from the
you
anesthesiologist,
second that.
insurance person, with
They
psychiatrist.
enter into executive. session.
Yes, did we?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, wait.
I guess a lot.
Okay, I didn't know if I could shut this down.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.